Do you feel like you're stuck and not improving no matter what you do? Almost as if every time you get a win it happens simply because you were lucky and not attribute it to your own skill? If any of this sounds familiar, keep watching this video because I'm about to show you how you can solve these problems and get good at MK1. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is just keeping everything simple, not only just your combos, but also your game plan as well. So in terms of combos, this is what it's going to look like as an example. So I am a Nitara player, so I'm just going to show off Nitara for you. Just doing something as simple as this, 259 damage, right? So why would we go for this as opposed to going for something much more advanced, much more tricky? Going for this combo right here that you see me do on the katana, does 399, takes him to the corner, does all these amazing things, right? Now, the reason why I would suggest of just keeping it simple and go for this combo right here, compared to going for the advanced combo, the odds of you dropping this crazy combo that I'm going for is much higher compared to the simple combo, right? Obviously, because I have a lot of time with this character, the odds of me dropping it are very slim, but there are cases in my games where I have dropped these combos and I have lost my games. As opposed to just going for something more simple like this that I know I'm not going to drop no matter the situation. Granted, the damage is less, it only does 259, but the odds of you getting this much more consistently, of getting this as opposed to the 400 damage combo, is much easier. And in a game like this where every hit counts, you do want to do a lot of damage as much as you can, but what is more important in the long run is consistency. If you can consistently do this combo every single time and you can get that damage on your opponent, this will always win you games no matter what. So in that case, that did 259 and I only hit it only one time. But if I managed to hit them again with the same exact combo, I just took half of their life bar. There was no threat of me dropping the combo. Versus me, if there's a game-winning combo in this situation and I try to go for the very hard stuff and I'm very nervous knowing I'm gonna win, and if I drop it right there, I lose the game. Versus if I just go for the simple stuff right here and I end it with the dive kick and get my 259, this is good for me because it's guaranteed damage. That's the way I like to think of it. Now, in terms of keeping your game plan simple, look at on top of Nitara's head. I only have these moves highlighted. Your main important move, which is your combo starter. In this case, it's this move, which gives me that. And also the other one that leads to me getting my dive kick. And also you want to have a good button for you to use on the floor for your neutral. So in this case, I have my easy prey, which is my forward 1-2, which is a mid overhead, which knocks them down. And I can also cancel this into my Kung Lao, which is a low attack. So depending on what my opponent is doing, I can either go for an overhead and they have to block it standing, or I go for my Kung Lao and they have to block it low, which is another thing that they have to worry about. Rather than looking at this entire move list with all these crazy moves and buttons that Nitara has, keep it simple. Only look at 3 or 4 moves that your character has that you think are important and highlight them in the move list so that you can use them in practice mode. Now, if you don't necessarily know what your character can do, I suggest looking at other YouTubers or even professional players and seeing what moves they do in their own matches. And if you notice, they're not using the entire move list in their matches. They're only using 3 or 4 key moves that give them those wins that they're looking for. Now, another one that I want to talk about is the importance of ducking. Now, why is ducking important? Well, because there are 2 things ducking does, right? If you block normally while crouching and also while crouching without holding block, these are 2 different things, right? So I have a recording set right here for Sub-Zero. If I'm blocking low while crouching, you see I block the ice ball, right? Same thing with the Serena. If they call the Serena, I get hit by the knives no matter what, and I'm losing a little bit of health every single time. If you look on my life bar at the top of the screen, you do see that I am losing a little bit of damage while I'm blocking. This is called chip damage. Now, why is this important? Because if you just duck normally without holding block, you see that every single one of these attacks that Sub-Zero is doing is going over my head. So that counts for the Serena knives, Sub-Zero's ice ball, and this also counts with other characters such as Kitana's fans, also with Tanya using her fireball, and also Liu Kang's fireballs as well go over your head completely. But if I were to block it and crouch, you see that I do get hit by this and I do take a little bit of chip damage. Now the reason why this is important is because you can slowly walk up on your opponent and just cover that distance while also keeping yourself safe. So if I'm full screen here, rather than blocking and then taking a little bit of life right here, as you notice, because I had 180, if I'm slowly trying to get in on these knives and Sub-Zero's ice ball, I'm at 115 by the end of it. But if I'm full screen and if I duck and I just walk forward, I cover much more distance and I also lose no health in the process. So always keep this in mind. Every character is different. Like for example, like how I mentioned Katana, Liu Kang, and Tanya, you can't do this, but in certain situations you actually can't do this. Like if Tanya were to do her meter burn fireball, if you try to crouch under it, you are actually going to get hit because the fireball is much bigger. So make sure you practice your characters in which you struggle against, because trust me, in the long run, this is going to do you so good in your matches. Another big tip that I can give you guys is practicing your anti-airs, right? Now, Sub-Zero's jump-in kick is probably one of the best jump-in kicks in the game, right? He's up there with a lot of other characters, right? So if I try to like hit him out of it with doing a jab or something like that, this is not going to work, or is just going to completely miss no matter what. So in that case, I got hit with a counter hit no matter what. But if you just use your down 2 anti-air, if you see them jump, this is going to beat them every single time, right? No matter what. Now, obviously, I am messing up the timing, so this is something you are going to have to practice. But if you notice right here, even with a little bit of practice of knowing the timing, they are going to get hit by this every single time. Now, this obviously isn't like doing a big damage combo like this where you get 200 damage. This only does 140, right? So granted, this does do a little bit of damage, but if your opponent is constantly jumping at you and you're hitting them with your down 2 uppercut every single time, if they just take 3 of these uppercuts, right? So look at Sub-Zero's health. So here's the first one, here's the second one, and then here's the third. They have just lost 50% of their health. Sub-Zero has 1050 health. Just doing 3 uppercuts on Sub-Zero just left him with 630 left. He only has a little bit over half of his life left. And if you can just do this consistently every single time on somebody that jumps in at you, you are going to see big improvements in your matches, right? And especially, like I said earlier, if you do it with your combos like this, keeping it simple, and then if you notice that your opponent loves to jump afterwards, after doing this, right? And if you just do an uppercut, that is an additional 140 damage on top of your already 259 damage combo. So technically, if you add up those two combos that you did, 259 plus 140, you essentially just did a 400 damage combo for essentially absolutely nothing, just punishing your opponent's mistakes. Another big tip that I can give you guys is just being patient with your blocking. Now I have a Sub-Zero recording set right here with the Serena. I'm pretty sure we've all been a victim of this. Look at my life bar on the top, I'm losing a lot of life, and Sub-Zero just doing all this crazy pressure on me that I'm just gonna have to hold, right? And if I mistime my button, now all of a sudden I'm getting combo instead, and I'm probably gonna lose the game afterwards. This is not good. But if you're just patient with your blocking and you're just letting the Sub-Zero do all of this, there is no threat to you right here. And if you notice with the Serena knives as well, there is a big gap after she throws the 2 knives. So in this situation right here, a good thing you can do is just using a low poke and just hitting the Serena and Sub-Zero at the same time to relieve the pressure, right? So this obviously isn't going to give you a big combo or nothing like that, but this gives you something more important, is this relieves you of the pressure that the Sub-Zero is doing, and also they wasted half of their cameo meter doing pressure that they thought was going to work on you. So be patient with your blocking. Look for little gaps and opportunities to get a little low poke in just to relieve the pressure. This happens a lot with Ashura as well. There's a lot of Ashura Serenas online as well. So just learn the timing of knowing that gap in the knives and just blowing them up for it every single time, no matter what. You're going to see a big improvement once you learn how to do this. And the last big tip that I can give you all is just to have fun with this game. Now, why do I say to have fun with this game? This game at one point is going to get you mad. Even I get mad at this game sometimes, even in the highest ranks of me being in the God rank, or even in the lowest ranks of the beginner rank, right? Being angry at this game exists no matter what, in all walks, in every game, no matter what the genre is. But that is completely fine if you feel these feelings of being mad, that's fine. What you should do is just take a break from the game, put the controller down, maybe even play a different game, or just save Mortal Kombat for another day. Just play it tomorrow, that's completely fine. You don't want to keep playing this game and be angry, because that is very bad, one, for your mental health, and two, this also hurts you as a player, because when you play ranked when you're angry, you start to notice that you lose more games because you start to play tilted and you go for all these crazy risky moves and your opponent punishes you for it, and then you start losing ranks, and then all of a sudden the cycle repeats and you get more and more angrier, and all of a sudden you lose interest in the game. But this isn't what you want as somebody playing this game. You want to have fun. Obviously, you want to do all these cool things with your character. You want to win. But at the very end of the day, if you notice, those players that are really good at the game, they're having fun on their Twitch streams or YouTube videos and all that stuff. If you notice my videos, sometimes I will be losing and I would just laugh it off. And then the next game I win, and then I win the set. So make sure it's important to keep your mental health in check by keeping yourself happy and making sure that you're playing the game for the fun of the game and not necessarily for the win. And if you notice that you start to have fun with this game and prioritize just doing fun things, you notice that you're going to have to start winning your games as opposed to losing, because you are going to fight a lot of people that are going to be angry. Trust me, I've had a lot of people in my videos where I've had to edit out their audio and just mute the game chat because they're just trash talking on the mic, and I'm just winning because my mentality is just, I just approach the game with fun, and no matter what happens is that I know what kind of player I am, and no matter what they do, I will always win no matter what. Hopefully you all enjoyed today's video. Let me know if these tips actually helped you out in any way, shape, or form. I would really appreciate it if you would just say that in the comments below. Or if you want to see certain guides for certain characters that you guys want to use, because I really enjoyed making the Nitara guide, and just making a Sub-Zero guide would be really fun as well. I've also thought about making a Smoke guide as well, because I don't know if you all recently seen, but I've been having fun using a lot of different characters on my channel. So let me know if you all want to see that in the comments below. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.